For me, prequels are often some of the dumbest inventions when it comes to making no moves. Because they're mostly there just for making more money of an already larger movie franchise, like all those movies about Hannibal Lecter, or for example, the Predator or the Alien movies. Largely those movies are all about lack of creativity. Of course, sometimes you may be interested in backstories, but mostly it is just about using very creative ways to make money. That's also the same case with the movie we were talking about today called The Wandering Earth 2. So why didn't this prequel work, you may ask? Well, there are a lot of reasons for that, and we will gladly tell you about them today. The first reason comes down to the way the story is formed. The second movie is basically a long backstory with the main character Liu Yang, which you of course know about if you've seen the first movie. You saw a couple of flashes of that during the first movie where he was with his family, how he came into the program and had to sacrifice his sixth wife in order to give his children a better life. Because, of course, there were not enough places in the underground, but most of that story was already known during the first movie, and a lot of the same scenes were played again when he was with his family, for instance. That is dragged out, and to play so many of the same scenes and flashbacks from the first movie does not either make it creative or entertaining. Yes, the main character is of course important, and this tells his whole story from the ground up into becoming a leader, but you could have done that either by showing fewer scenes from those sequences during the first movie, or tell that story a little earlier instead of all the back and forth between events. The movie also has a complete lack of tension when we compare it to the first one. We saw good tension for most of the movie. This one, however, has a good last hour, but it is nowhere near the tension or nerve you felt when watching through the first one. First of all, the acting is way less powerful, and you do not have the same epic moments as in the first one, when scenes of course were exaggerated, but they were delivered more dramatically, making you feel at edge of your experience at time, which is almost gone for the whole of this movie. Of course, a miss, as you see in many of those other prequels you have seen, is that you do not have too many of the same actors or characters. Of course, you have younger versions of those in this prequel, and you have this father character, which is also central in this movie. This Grandpa Guy was also one that delivered a very powerful performance in the last movie, which is missing from this one. Another miss in this movie is the emotional undertone. I feel also ruins the lot of other movies, and it is also a ruin in this movie. Yes, we do understand it is emotional when his father has to make that choice, or when he is there with his Russian friend, but what they do wrong in this movie is how they keep repeating the same lines over and over again, making those deciding moments way less powerful than they were delivered in the first one. When this young girl is shouting out hope or like diamonds, way more powerful than any other actor in this movie. But I guess this movie is all about making China look like a great nation on a map, or at least it appears that way. A further problem with this wasted prequel is that it is badly explained. Of course, it was perhaps a problem during the first one as well, but then we at least had hidden it more in entertainment that could cover that lack of explanation. They also get away with that bad explanation thing because at times it is actually so ridiculous with this exploding into Jupiter mission that it actually becomes funny. The movie is also quite slow, and I cannot really defend its quite long running time, which is almost at 3 hours, and you could easily have told the story in a shorter time, because let me tell you, those first 1 hour and 40 minutes are kinda dragged to get through. During this time, you are mostly not entertained, and of course, for that to be more entertaining, you would have needed a better backstory and not play over and over again the same events we already know about, just as those mentioned with the main character. Largely, I feel the same way as after I saw the second Red Cliff movie. We also saw the same director, but the tension and excitement from the first movie were of course nearly gone, as opposed to the first movie, and I feel the same way here. That's why I feel I wasted a lot of time during watching this movie, and I will give it a 5 out of 10.